Okay, this time on White Collar Garage, we got the old Chevy Tahoe in here again, and it needs rear brakes. Okay, so before we go too far, we want to make sure we spray this brake clean all over here and get a lot of this dust out of here. Now we got a clip right in here that holds for the parking brake, and you're just going to take a screwdriver and put it right in the edge of it. Pop that out, set it off to the side. Now you're going to need to get one of these tools. It's called a brake spring pliers. This is a real cheap one I got from AutoZone. Pop it off, stick it in there, twist, pop it off, springs come off. Then you're going to need to get one of these also. That's for the little clips on the side. I got this at AutoZone also. Now we're going to press down, slide it over. It's our parking brake stuff. Shoes come off. Then you're going to twist it around like that. Take out the star adjuster. Last spring. And the cross. We got to change this wheel cylinder because it's leaking. So we're going to do that here in a second. So we need a 1/2-inch socket and ratchet. A 9/16 flare nut wrench, or you can use a regular wrench. We reach right back here. And we crack the line loose first. You always want to put the line in before you tighten up the bolts. You don't want to tighten the line all the way up, but you want to get it started and going first. It's just easier to line up the threads in the tube. You're going to want to put anti-seize on all the metal to metal contacting places where the shoe touches the drum, where the shoe goes inside these little tips right here, and on the anchor pin right here. You're also going to want to put it on the parking brake ratchet assembly. So we've done all that, and now we're ready to put our shoes on. Take your little C-clip, put it in. This spring goes down underneath the little holder. These have a slot in them, and you want to line them up so when you push it in and you turn 90 degrees, it holds. Now for the last spring, it's got a little notch in it to go around the adjuster. So you want to make sure that you put these in correctly, that the spring part goes to the inside. This little tab right here goes to the inside of the spring. And there's little hooks. There's little eyelets right here on the bottom of the spring. That one sits there. And you basically just squeeze these springs together. I'm going to make this a little easier here. I'm going to put the one we can't see in first. And this one, just squeeze. There we go. Now you want to put anti-seize on these also. This is the star adjuster. This is what adjusts the brakes. Take a rag and wipe all that excess off. These star adjusters have a little washer on them. So you got to make sure you put that washer on. These star adjusters have a little washer, so you want to make sure you put that washer on. And then again, we'll wipe off the excess. So we're going to take this tab here and we're going to slot it into the back shoe, and then we're going to press over, and then we're going to slot the front one, and we're going to separate the brake shoes by hand. And this makes it, putting this extra spring in, or this lower spring in here, it makes it super easy. There you go. Now we're going to start adjusting it. Then you want to take the brake shoes and make sure they float easy, which they do. And now we do the drum adjustment. Okay, to adjust these drums, we're first just going to want to set the drum up here, and you can see it rocks back and forth a bunch. So we know we got to unscrew this star adjuster a ton. Okay, that's good enough for now. So we can bleed these brakes, and then we'll put the tire on and we'll bleed the brakes, and then we'll do the final adjustment at the very end. So you're just going to want to repeat this procedure for the other side, and we're going to do that right now, and then we'll come back and go through the bleeding procedure and the final adjustment. Okay, now we're going to bleed the brakes on this side. We've already done the other side, and when you bleed brakes, you want to start from the one that's farthest from the master cylinder. So the driver's side, the passenger side rear is the farthest. Now we're on the driver's side rear, and you're going to get on the brake bleeder. You're going to get it freed up, and this takes two people, so you have to have somebody in the car, and then you tell them to press on the brake, and they're going to press on the brake, down, and then up, down, up. And then you want to see to make sure that there's no air bubbles spitting out of the bleeder screw on the back of the wheel cylinder. Down, up, down, up. And you can see how we don't have any air bubbles now. We got a nice solid stream coming out. And that means we're done. Put the wheels on this thing, and then we'll do the final brake adjustment. Well, it looks like the adjustment that we did on the drum right there, we don't have to do a final adjustment. When we spin this tire, you can hear a little drag, and it spins fairly free, and the brake pedal feels good. So we'll put this back down on the ground, test drive it, and see how it... Okay, one thing we forgot to do was to make sure that the master cylinder was still full from bleeding the brakes, and it never will be. And when you are bleeding brakes, you want to make sure to check this for how much fluid you have going out to make sure that the master cylinder stays full. Which this one's down, so we're going to add to it. Right up there on the max. When you put these on, you want to make sure that these little rubbers are in its place. Slid it over. Alright, now we're ready for a test drive. We just got back from the test drive. The rear brakes are working great. So that'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching White Collar Garage.